All right, buckle up, everyone. We have 90 years of history to cover in 5 minutes. So here we go. Let's go back to 1933. We're in the middle of the Great Depression. And my great-grandfather, John Dewar, bought a one-way train ticket from Detroit to California to check out the oil industry over here. He then later moved up to San Luis Obispo around 1935, and at which time he lived on Hathaway Street, which we all know. But back then it was actually a dirt road. So a lot has changed in San Luis Obispo since the Dewar family established their roots here. Our card lock system that many of your businesses might be familiar with today started out as a key lock in which there was a goodwill system that we had 8 keys, and we were stoked to have 8 customers. In the first couple days of opening, we sold 6,500 gallons. In comparison, today we have over 5,000 customers, and we sell 40,000 gallons of fuel in a single day. Our first location was at 1088 Higuera. For those of you that are racking your brain where this is right now, it's on the corner of Higuera and Santa Rosa, where the county government building currently is. We then later moved in 1986 to our current location at 75 Prado Road. We'd been a couple other places in San Luis Obispo between those moves. Over the years, we've carried lots of brands. You'll see on some of the pictures behind me. We've been Norwalk and Hancock. Those were both acquired by Signal Oil. We've been Gulf. We've carried Exxon before ExxonMobil even existed. And now we're a Chevron First Source marketer, which is a top recognition given to top marketers within the nation. Some of my favorite stories growing up in the community come from someone coming up to me and saying, "Oh, my grandfather did business with your grandfather." Some of the names that you might recognize, the Ikedas, AJ Deaney, the Rhoda Ranch. We even did business with Farm Supply when Jim Brabeck was driving a pump truck, long before becoming the CEO was even a thought. We've also always provided fuel throughout the entire county. For example, we deliver fuel out to Carissa Plains into generators of the houses out there before electricity even existed out in the Carissa Plains. We've always covered natural disasters, providing fuel for the emergency services that are needed. For example, the 1976 Highway 166 washout and rebuild, the 1985 Las Politas fire, the recent chimney fire of Paso Robles, and the Montecito mudslide. Now, a lot has changed in these years. We started out with a 900-gallon fuel truck that would carry 900 gallons at a time. It would top the Cuesta grade going 25 miles an hour. We measured that fuel in buckets and poured it into our customers' tanks. We then moved to an 1,800-gallon fuel truck. Now, this truck had pumps, but it had crank windows and only AM radios. And now we deliver fuel in a 4,500-gallon truck. It's got AC, automatic transmission, and more bells and whistles than you can even imagine. Our drivers used to carry around quarters and pagers, and I remember as a young girl, my dad having a pager and thinking it was the coolest thing ever. Now our trucks have GPS and a lot of technology in them that we can automatically route our trucks from anywhere. We used to have 3 locations, and now we have 8. Our locations are from Lompoc to Paso Robles, and we service from Santa Barbara to King City. We've serviced Paso Robles for a while now, long before there was a single vine in the ground. It was all dry land farming. My dad tells the story of a time that he was covering for an injured driver long before workers' comp even existed. And he called this driver to review their route and said he was going to stop by Mrs. Butterfield's house early in the morning before it got too hot up in Paso. And the driver said, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Mrs. Butterfield expects you early in the afternoon. She'll have a piece of pie and a glass of milk waiting for you. So wondering why that driver was never efficient was now very evident. I'm not sure how we're going to top the stories of the past 90 years, but I can't wait for the stories for over the next 90 years, which will be year 2113, where we talk about the renewable fuels that JB Dewar is providing, EV chargers, compressed natural gas, hydrogen, and whatever it takes to drive those floating, hovering, automatic driving vehicles that we'll be all driving around then. So thank you for celebrating 90 years with us, and we look forward to another 90.